Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by on the channel today for episode 20 of the UT Martin Skyhawks Legacy Mode, here with Coach Carter on College Hoops 2K8. Last time out, Tennessee Martin started to hit their stride a little bit here in year 3, winning 5 in a row, the longest winning streak ever in Coach Carter's tenure here at the college level. But the only caveat about this hot streak we find ourselves on is the fact that it was a pretty easy part of the schedule for us. In this episode, however, that winning streak will be tested as we face the current #1 team in the Ohio Valley, the 7-win 3-loss Austin Peay Governors. Austin Peay has a ton of guard depth, making it hard to operate versus their zone defense, as it always seems like they have fresh legs for their perimeter defense, and they love to get in the open floor as they're full of athletes. With all the turnover around the conference, Austin Peay is one of the few teams that seem to have a plan for the future, and they could be the favorites to win the conference. Led in points by senior forward Benny Estrada, they also have 2 starters who always seem to light it up when they see our jerseys. Shane Loeffler kills us. He's a physical wing who has a high offensive IQ, and Rodney Jarrells, who always seems to become a sharpshooter who specializes in the open court whenever he sees our Navy jerseys. And even for a third party just watching this game, someone who's not a fan of either side, it's going to be a fun night for all those viewers as well. Tennessee Martin, we're actually #1 in the conference of points per game. Right behind us is Austin Peay, so a battle of the top 2 offenses in the Ohio Valley will be on display tonight. And behind them, it's Eastern Kentucky at 65 points per game, so it's a pretty big discrepancy. And on the other side of things though, Austin Peay, their team stats are impeccable. They're even outdueling Samford in points per game allowed, so both sides of the floor, this team looks tough. So UT Martin back home sporting their orange alternate jerseys, and it wouldn't be Saunders or Easley actually getting us on the board. It'd be Luke Lawton from 3 as he continues to become a pretty consistent 3-point shooter, and that's big for us. And Christopher Fay gets fouled on the next possession. He knocks down 2 of 2, so a decent start for us, but it wouldn't take long for these teams to turn this into a track meet as Benny Estrada with a ferocious jam as the top scorer for Austin Peay gets on the board, putting one over Christopher Fay, which is not an easy task. So back on the attack, we see Easley, who receives a really strong screen from Blaine Fry, and with a rainbow, he knocks one down as well. So 8-4 already, as Blaine Fry gets a tip pass there, and with his second opportunity, he picks it up and assists to Luke Lawton, who cashes in. So already 20 combined points for each side, as now Kareem Hernandez does a good job setting up the offense, and Austin Peay will give this one inside, and that is Rodney Jarrells with the N1 opportunity, as like I said in the pregame, he seems like he always plays his best ball when he sees UT Martin on an opposing jersey. Now 16-12 as Saunders catches it cleanly, but he gets his pocket picked. He was getting harassed by Alan Ratliff, who finishes off the break. So our nice start almost relinquished as Ratliff pulls the Governors within 2. And now UTM sticking with the 2-man game between Fry and Easley as Easley moves to the vacant spot left open by the 2-3 zone. How about his second triple of the night? And these threes keep raining for both sides. So now we see UTM with a 4-point cushion. Rodney Jarrells wants to isolate against Easley, but he stopped in his tracks, waves the white flag. Hernandez wants to give it back to him though. Jarrells with a spin, hangs and finishes over 2 defenders. Evan Schneiderman and Dwight Easley was playing perfect defense, staying with him step per step, but with a nice kiss off the glass, Jarrells has 8 as he's the leading scorer for the Governors so far. Back within the basket, here comes Alan Ratliff off of the ball reversal. A left wing 3, that'll be good to go. So, just like that, with the snap of the finger, Austin Peay finds himself back up in front, but Pierre Hamilton ties it after a perfect pair of free throws from the line. And Hamilton would also tip a pass on the press, receives it, and gives it right back to Fry. A nice job going back and forth between those two. And Fry, that's one of the reasons why he actually leads this team in steals per game, very active on the press. As the big guys continue to steal the show, as Fay against the double team, he converts from inside the low post, giving him 6. Looks like we need to maybe use our big guys a little bit more if we're going to keep pace, as Hamilton off the mark there. Fay once again cleans up the mess. Lawton with a momentary look from 3-point land, but he gives it right back over. So the tempo continues to increase as it seems like everybody gets a touch on this possession for the Governors, but it'd be Benny Estrada, the top scorer on the season for him, topping it off. Back to a 27-27 ball game, but UT Martin back in front by 1 point. 5 seconds left to shoot. Luke Lawton has to operate quickly, hop step, and a jump shot in the heart of the 2-3 defense. He converts again, remains perfect at that, and we're back out in front. Austin Peay scores again to cut it to a 1 point deficit. Marcus Saunders back out on the floor with the other starters, and a nice pick and roll there ran as Saunders continues to be deadly on those pick and roll opportunities, whether it's shooting or assisting. That seems to be another strong point of his game. Now, with under a minute to play, this ball works around to Easley. He thinks about it, shoots it, no good, but collecting his third offensive rebound. Christopher Faye, a huge play going up against Willie Mejia, who fouls him, and Faye takes advantage of the height mismatch again. So, up by 4, the biggest lead of the game for the Skyhawks. With 36 seconds left, look at where Kareem Hernandez pulls this one from. One of the best shooters in the conference with one of the longest ranges to pull it. He converts, and that'll be our score going into the half. So, 36-35, and this game has been so back and forth. The tempo, the score, everything. These two teams combining for around 70% shooting, and that high field goal percentage is probably the reason why there's only been 14 rebounds combined between the two teams, as it seems like whoever cools down first from the field will be the team going home with the loss. And we just need to continue to use our big fellas, because Easley and Saunders, they've cooled down a little bit, but the big guys still look good. But coming out of the second half, maybe Easley wants to flip the script a little bit. And it wasn't exactly that he cooled off, it was just the fact that Easley couldn't find many opportunities near the end of the first half to shoot, as Karan Woodyard, quick the other way, he finishes for his second basket of the outing. Now tied at 39 as Easley tips a pass. Great job in the passing lane as Fry collecting it. That's his 5th steal of the ball game. And how about that play? That looked like a Pierre Hamilton dish. Great job by Easley beating Hernandez off the dribble and creating the angle to get it into Fry. So, back up by 1, 12:34 left to go, and now Easley's matched up with Karan Woodard. He wants to take him one-on-one. How about this explosion from Easley to begin the second half? Easley, so far in his junior year, even though his assists per game is down, this is the most efficient we've ever seen him play, and so far it's been fun to watch here in his junior year. So now the Governor's on the move, as here is Hernandez, who sets up a nice backdoor for Jarrells, who has his shot spiked into the floor, but Karan Woodard with the second chance, he beat everybody to that loose ball, and Austin Peay gets a little lucky there. They still managed to score out of it, so now knotted up at 45 with 10 minutes to go, as this time Karan Woodard scores a much more conventional basket. He converts the N1 on Christopher Faye, and after having a very quiet first half, Woodard is already up to 10 points after only having 1 basket in the first 15 minutes. Now off the inbound, everybody leaving Pierre Hamilton open, they fell asleep as some bench players check in. Hamilton's in, Diggs is in, and Evan Schneiderman. 54-51 is your score right now, down by 3, as there's a nice look from Hamilton with another assist. This time it's to Evan Schneiderman, who so far in his freshman year has struggled from the field, but with Hamilton's slashing ability, he created the lane for Schneiderman that time. So only down by 1 with 6:18 left to go. Hernandez one-on-one against Schneiderman, who is just too slow to keep up with the lightning quick Hernandez, who's normally a 3-point shooter, but he shows off some nice slashing there. Now Loeffler looks cross court to Jarrells, who knocks that one through. Loeffler with his 5th assist, and finally we're seeing one of these teams separate themselves from the opposition. And sometimes this season, resulting in a lot of losses for UT Martin, is just their inability to play a full 30 minutes, and we're seeing that again tonight as Faye pulls up short, and with the baby jumper he gets hit and manages to fight through that contact by Tim Byers. And Christopher Faye with a baker's dozen, we gotta keep using him. Still perfect from the field, but not perfect from the free throw line as he misses that one, unfortunately. So still a 5-point deficit. Saunders one-on-one against Jarrells at the end of the shot clock. He gets stopped. Dish over to Dwight Easley with a hand in his face, and it's just off the mark. Jarrells with the run-out opportunity, dishing it over to Shane Loeffler as they extend the lead to 7. He is so tough to stop. He is a bruising forward with a high basketball IQ. And once again, the Governor's defense stifling UT Martin's attack. Lawton is forced to throw one up at the end of the shot clock, and Hernandez will set things up the other way as Jarrells tries to go backdoor, as you can see here, to Karan Woodard. This one is picked off by Easley. Faye corrals it, gives it to Lawton, back to Faye, who cannot finish. So even the big fellas having some trouble finishing, as it has just been such an offensive struggle for us down the stretch. And Jarrell's with yet another huge performance, 14 for him on the game. He's been doing that to us since he was even a freshman. And Loeffler has his shot rejected, and it's saved by Faye. Up the floor quick. Saunders doesn't think that we're out of it yet, and he goes into the post. He's been ice cold in the second half, but with a hook shot of all things, Saunders finds his way back into the stat sheet. Only 6 for him tonight, however, but unfortunately, just a little bit too late, despite Easley's bomb there. Finishing the game with 14, but it would end up as a 6-point loss. Like I said during the game, it was going to be whoever stopped hitting their shots first. Yeah, that was the team that was going to take the L, and UT Martin, after keeping pace so well with the high-powered Governor's attack, they just didn't have it in them down the stretch. 15 for Faye, we should have used him more. Saunders with one of his worst performances in a long time. Easley had 14 and 2 assists, not bad for him tonight. 50% from beyond the arc, and despite Benny Estrada being the leading scorer for the Governors, he was only their 5th leading scorer on the game tonight, double figures for 4 other players. But moving on though, we do respond with a home win against Morehead State, as Easley responded and Saunders responded nicely. They combined it for 39 points. Morehead State was the number 1 seed in the tournament last year for the conference, but their only returning starter this year is Morgan Stansberry, so we were able to take advantage. But Marcus Saunders got dinged up, a 28-day injury. He is going to be day-to-day, he can play through it, but a broken finger at this point in the season for almost a month, he's going to be playing hobbled. That's not a good look, because in this game, it's not like 2K nowadays. If you guys didn't know, here in College Hoops 2K8, if your player is playing hurt, then that has a huge impact on his performances, like we saw from Easley earlier on this season when he was playing dinged up, and that's not a good look, as we then travel to face Eastern Kentucky, who's always tough. Despite losing 2 starters, they don't have Benjamin Kay anymore, and they don't have Elliot Armstead. They still have JT Mobley, who's arguably the best point guard in the conference, and of course the sharpshooting Tyler Holaeday with his 40+ point performance last year in the Ohio Valley Conference Championship we were all witnesses to. And they also start freshman center Aaron Dooley, who seems to be a pretty dang good replacement for Benjamin Kay, so they don't have to worry about that too much. That on top of Richmond, Kentucky here in this arena, this is one of the most imposing environments across the entire Ohio Valley, just such a unique arena, and it's always tough for any team to walk in here and come out unscathed. So here we are, Christopher Faye wins the tip, and we're underway as we come up short on our first possession. EKU gets on the board thanks to JT Mobley, working this one around to Lincoln McKenzie, who is met with a very favorable bounce. So 2 baskets for the Colonels to kick things off tonight. Quickly up the other way, and Saunders playing hurt. We don't see that very much from him. He dribbles the ball off his own leg, and on the other end, Tyler Holaeday with way too much space. A 7-0 run for the Colonels, and already Coach Carter has to burn one. Ever since we started this series 3 years ago, EKU has always had a very tough defense to figure out, but it'll be Blaine Fry getting us on the board tonight. He's averaging around 7 in his freshman year, as he also records the steal thanks to Saunders tipping that pass on the press. So here we are. Fry feeds to Faye, who backs down. Lincoln McKenzie, help defense comes. That would be Aaron Dooley that he scores a layup over. So a basket apiece from our big guys, and that's one thing that we really need to do more on offense. We need to feed them more, especially with Saunders' injury, as Fry picks off the pass, and easily he's the one who throws it down. I didn't know he had bunnies like that, and I don't think you guys did either. But there he is. Hopefully that dunk provides some momentum. So Tyler Holaeday feeds to Dooley, who works this one over to JT Mobley, who didn't even have that much space, but he still drills it. Such a skilled offensive player, whether it's scoring or assisting. He is such a floor general. And now Tyler Holaeday, the microwave, he's the one who rips Lawton, and he finishes with a high arcing layup off the glass, and Holaeday with the second basket already. EKU has looked very difficult to stop on both ends, and now Faye is whistled for an offensive 3 seconds, camped out in the lane. We haven't seen this many dumb mistakes since year 1 of this legacy mode. Down 14-6 as now Aaron Dooley is matched up with Saunders, who rips it from him and saves it to Fry. And how about the long outlet pass? This one's rifled into easily from Lawton. And a very nice fast break run there. I don't even know if the ball touched the floor past the half-court line. And now some bench players check in, including Joey Ballard, his first action since his broken ankle injury a month and a half ago, and he steps up and knocks one down. The ball hung on the rim seemingly for suspense, and he gets it to go. So welcome back, Joey Ballard. That's great to see him hitting a jump shot of all things to say that he's back. So now down by 10, this one works around to Diggs from way downtown, hitting that one from the parking lot seemingly, and hopefully we're overcoming our slow start. Now down by 5 all of a sudden thanks to some hot shooting from these bench players. And how about this two-man game run between Tomas Radauskas, a Lithuanian native, and Aaron Dooley, making the and one. So far, every big that's tried to match up with him on UTM has had trouble stopping the freshman big. So now, in isolation, as Radauskas tries to check Diggs, he gets past him, bringing help defense, and Lawton strokes it. How about Luke Lawton with another 3? So far he's struggled tonight. He's missed his first 3 shots, but there's his first field goal. And now down by 3 as Radauskas misses it off the glass. Schofield with the rebound. Long pass from Hamilton. Diggs with a half spin draws defensive attention as Lawton gets Radauskas up in the air. Two-man game for UT Martin now as Diggs ties it up. We have overcome a huge run from EKU and a lot of offensive mishaps to claw our way back in this game. EKU retakes the lead on a free throw, but we're still enjoying an 18-8 run as now the pick and rolls run to perfection between Hamilton and Faye as once again he threads a needle. So now down with 1:10 left to go, Holaeday catches and fires, and Holaeday once again knocks it down. Hamilton just too small to get a good contest on him. That's definitely a mismatch. Now up by 4 is EKU trying to get a stop, but a favorable matchup on our side as well, as Faye was matched up with Samaje Carrington as he makes the bucket, and that'll be your score heading into the half, 36-34. EKU had their big run to open up the ball game, but then Tennessee Martin answers back, and if you look at some of these numbers, they look almost exactly alike. The only big difference is that EKU just shooting a very high percentage from the floor, so we need to continue to try to apply more pressure to these shooters. So, coming out into the second half of action, it'll be Tyler Holaeday getting us underway with a basket, extending the lead up to 4, and now he catches and fires on Luke Lawton, and just like that, the microwave's up to 14. Tyler Holaeday continues to pour it in, as now Grant Foster picks up a steal, and EKU would also score there. So once again, EKU on a run. Faye has a one-on-one with Dooley, but he just decides to kick it back out to Easley, who's become so good at moving without the ball. It's really refreshing with so many players needing the ball in their hands nowadays to score. Just Easley having the ability to move without it and create opportunities for himself. That's really cool to see. But Lincoln McKenzie on the weak side, he catches and fires from about 18 feet out. How about Holaeday? He drew 3 UTM defenders and he still made a nice pass to him. 52-45, we trim it down to 5:33 left to go as Fry with the up fake on Tyler Holaeday, that would be, as Fry's up to a dozen, and now Lawton goes headlong trying to recover the steal, and it'll be Easley, and Easley wants to reward him for that hustle, and Lawton would draw the foul on the backup point guard, Stuart Wells. So now Lawton steps up, hits 2 of 2, back to a 1-possession game, as now it's Easley and Hamilton with a bit of a 2-man game. How about Hamilton drawing the top man in that 3-2 zone? So Easy's got a wide open opportunity to stroke that rock, and he knocks it down. That's one of his favorite spots, is right from the top of the key. He's hit so many of those over his career. 52 apiece as Lincoln McKenzie's the inbounder. And how about this play drawn up out of the timeout? How about Aaron Dooley? Nice high to low game as they find him down in the low post. But now how about a sideline inbound for the UT Martin Skyhawks as Easley catches and fires, no good. But Lawton again with a colossal offensive rebound, his second of the night. And now with 3 minutes left to go, it's still a tie game as Lawton, he gets in the way of the passing lane. This time he feeds it into Hamilton. Check out Luke Lawton continuing to make plays down the stretch. He's been such a spark for us, and thanks to the nice pass, normally it's Pierre Hamilton delivering those nice bounce passes, but he grabs that one, and with his offhand, he puts UTM back on top. So 2:47 left to go. Mobley goes across the court, finds Aaron Dooley sitting down at the elbow, tying it back up as Dooley remains perfect with a baker's dozen on the night, and Fry leads the attack. Faye out of the post, Easley for the lead, just off the mark however. Dwight easily coming up a little short there. He's done it time and time again tonight. However, as JT Mobley feeds it into Dooley, and Faye sends him back, and it's a fight for the loose ball. And Fry, with that hustle we all know him for, he's the one who scoops it up. Hamilton down the lane, double clutch. Luke Lawton has put us ahead with 2:12 left to go. Whoa, what an explosion, a coming out party for Lawton down the stretch. He continues to make plays. Unreal. The type of coming out party he's had tonight, as a sophomore from New Zealand puts us on top, and Fry breaks down the zone, and Lawton catches and fires again. 12 for Lawton tonight, as he has so much more offensive versatility than Ballard, and that's come up big for us with Saunders nursing that injury. And speaking of Saunders, we haven't really seen him much down the stretch, as now Grant Foster drives baseline and beats easily with the dribble. But yeah, no Marcus Saunders with his struggles today and his injury, so it's been Pierre Hamilton at point guard and Easley at the 2 guard. And now with 9 seconds left to shoot, tied up at 60, Easley feeds the post to Fry. He's got the mismatch, but he gets doubled. Tries to look to Luke Lawton again, and this time it is Tyler Holaeday who gets a piece. Shot clock violation, and the Colonels come the other way. 32 seconds left, and Pierre Hamilton is harassing JT Mobley, picking up his dribble. He was dead in his tracks. But Hamilton, a little too aggressive, he lets Mobley off the hook. So now 14 seconds left. JT at the top of the key, 10 seconds left. Tied up at 60. He wants to take Hamilton one-on-one, it looks like. He stops, pops for the lead, off the mark, but Aaron Dooley with the big rebound. Holaeday for the win. He got it. Tyler Holaeday has done it. Oh no. Surrendering that rebound. As Aaron Dooley, over multiple Navy jerseys, he pulls it in, kicks it out, and you never want to leave a player like Tyler Holaeday a second chance. And UT Martin, right when they hit their stride a little bit last episode, they won 5 in a row, but with this loss they fall to 4-3 in conference play, a little disappointing so far through 7 games. And they also fall to 1-2 in the episode. A dozen points from Easley, Lawton, and Fry, as Lawton was really the hero if we could have pulled this one out. And I really wish we could have, as UT Martin has already fought through so much adversity, so many injuries, and untimely things have happened to the Skyhawks to kind of put a hinder on their season, and they fall to 4-4 in conference play as the next time out at home we lose to Tennessee Tech, who every year so far in the series has always given us a lot of trouble. This is a 6-point loss, as Tennessee Tech in the offseason they lost Devontae Douglas and Garrison Farmer, 2 forwards who always gave us a lot of problems. But still, another impotent second half of basketball, as once again we just can't play a full 30 minutes it seems like without any issues. We came out of the locker room sporting a 45-28 lead, but as you can see, it was a nightmare of a second half. And Saunders once again struggling, 3 of 12 here in the Tennessee Tech game. Might be thinking Coach Carter, he might be going back to the drawing board, might have to bench him for a little bit, come bring him off the bench like he did easily, and that seemed to work pretty well when he was dealing with his injury. But the next time out on the hardwood, a home game for us as we return to the win column. 68-65, we sneak it out, sweeping the season series against the defending champs, Southeast Missouri State. Saunders again, however, his only marks in the stat sheet were 6 points, and it took him 12 shots to get that total. Right now, UT Martin a little disappointing, 5-4 so far in the conference, a little underwhelming than what we might have thought with the conference being down this year. But on the bright side, they're only a half game out of second place, but it's kind of a double-edged sword as they're also only 1 game out of being in the A seed spot. So a logjam in the middle of the Ohio Valley Conference as we go on the road to take on Austin Peay, the 8-2 Governors right now, one of the few teams in the conference that have really set themselves apart from the opposition. So this is going to be a huge game for us, as if we can win this game, we'll be right up there with some of the top names in the conference. We might be second, third, depending on who wins and who loses. So Austin Peay, for the second time in the episode, we are facing off with the Governors, this time in Clarksville. You guys already know the story against them and what they like to do. It was a shootout last time out on our home floor. Let's see if we can get revenge as Karan Woodard wins the tip for the Governors. And we're underway tonight, but Saunders picks up the steal, turns on the Jets, and throws it down with 2 hands. Plus the foul. Saunders has looked very frustrated nursing that finger injury. He seemed to have a Conference Player of the Year level season before this injury occurred, averaging 20 points per game before it happened. That's dipped down to about 17 tonight, but he puts his best foot forward against the Governors, but so does Sean Loeffler with a bomb from the right wing, as once again he looks to be in tune for another huge night against us. But we got to try to limit him and Kareem Hernandez on the other end. So now a bomb for Hernandez. He only had 2 baskets last time out, but he also has gotten off to a nice start as Faye misses the gimme inside, but there's some good defense by Estrada. And now Loeffler on the other end leaves the layup long. A huge defensive stand from Lawton, not easy to make him miss when he's that deep. And easily with the bounce pass. Saunders, can he do it again? Yes, he can. Alright. Marcus Saunders, it's felt like forever since he's made a 3-pointer, but he comes up big there. And UT Martin down 3 with the halfway point approaching here in the first half as Alan Ratliff checks in along with some other bench guys from both sides. And if there was a 6-Man of the Year award in the OVC, I think Alan Ratliff would definitely be the front runner. Definitely one of the best bench talents in the league. And now Hamilton tries to go one-on-one, dishes it cross court, nice bounce pass to Renfro as he misses a rare 3. And once again, it seems like UT Martin back in an offensive rut as Fry tries to muscle his way through. He kicks it out to Saunders. He leaves that one way to the right rim. And just like that, Austin Peay, as UT Martin has struggled, they've just increased their lead, but Fry finally getting a stop. Lawton tries to take on multiple defenders, and that one's off the mark. Great job defending without fouling, and Ronnie Jarrell's on the other end feeds it to Loeffler, who finishes through contact. And Austin Peay on a huge run. The Governors have scored 15 unanswered. This is getting ridiculous as Fry tries to halt the momentum. At the end of the shot clock, it's a bailout foul. And even if he makes these free throws, it's still going to be about 5 minutes without even a field goal. But I guess 2 threes, whatever, a bailout foul for Fry to knock down some free throws. I guess if you're UT Martin, you can take anything that you can get. So 2 of 2 from the line for Blaine Fry, and Luke Lawton will also hit a pair of free throws, cutting the lead down to 11 as Easley takes the backup center Tony Petridge to the rim and gets fouled. So more good free throw work from UT Martin, as also Easley, the sure-handed point guard at the charity stripe, knocks down 2 of 2 to cut it within single digits with 2 minutes left to go. But Rodney Jarrell's rather, he would put in a basket to extend it back to 11, but nice pick and roll run there on the baseline as Faye puts in another one. So UT Martin trying to keep pace a little bit here. They're looking a lot better as we hit the half, and now Easley steals one, fires it up to Hamilton, and now it is Luke Lawton trying to take a baseline again. Good defense from Jarrell stopping him behind the back pass to Fry, and now Faye down the lane. He takes multiple defenders on and he scores again. Nice teamwork there for sure. And as we reach the end of the half, somehow, someway, UT Martin is still clawing and still fighting, down by 9. And it's not like Austin Peay is doing anything crazy on offense. They're having a solid day, but it's not anything we haven't seen before. UT Martin shooting 25%, but their good work at the charity stripe is keeping them in the game. So if we can just run our offense like normal, I feel like we can still have a chance and claw and scrap our way into this game. And starting the second half, Hernandez coming out firing as UTM still with that 2-guard lineup here. Hamilton at the point and Easley at the 2 as it's Pierre who gives another nice lead pass to Luke Lawton. How about those two developing a little bit of chemistry in these last few games? And now Shane Loeffler continues to do most of his damage from inside the paint, whether it's scoring or facilitating. And Hernandez, nice wraparound pass against multiple defenders. Got to give him credit. So here comes the inbound from Faye as Easley fires one up to Luke Lawton, who draws his man up with a pump fake and a double clutch for the New Zealand native. Luke Lawton 1 of 4 in the first half, but a perfect 3 of 3 here in the second. So now only down by 5 as Lawton feeds to Fry, and look at that no-look dish. And Hamilton caps it off with a floater from the low post. Fry with his 3rd assist, and he is very underrated when it comes to facilitating. He doesn't really seem to have many weaknesses, and now how about that dish from Hamilton? This time he feeds Faye as Hamilton with his 3rd assist on his own accord. And we're back within 4, make that 6 as now Loeffler takes over, dishes it out to Benny Estrada, who continues his tough day. Schneiderman checks in along with the rest of the bench. And Marcus Saunders actually, as Diggs with the stop and go move, he takes that one all the way to the rack. So Diggs, his first basket is a huge one, and it was a pretty one. So Diggs, averaging 6 points per game and 2 assists per game in his freshman year, he draws us within 4. So here is Ratliff giving it back to, that is Rodney Jarrells. Who else would it be pulling it from that far out? 49-42 is the ball game score, and now Schneiderman goes across the key, and Ballard rotates this one around to Diggs, who has a friendly bounce, but he delivers the equalizer, and a tip pass from Ballard as Schneiderman pulls up, and that was not a very smart play, as Schneiderman continues to struggle on offense here in his freshman year. And now Ballard with Diggs going back and forth as Saunders catches and fires off of the off-ball screen. Saunders not with many attempts from the floor tonight, but he's looked good whenever he shot it. That shot improves his percentage to 75%, 3 of 4. 5:20 left to go. Kareem Hernandez still battling with Jacques Diggs as the bench is still in the game for UT Martin, as Rodney Jarrells with another huge shot. Joey Ballard was trying to check him on that possession, but the long wingspan from Ballard, yeah, it's just not enough sometimes when it comes to Rodney Jarrells. And now Hernandez fires. He looks for his third made 3 ball, no good, but Karan Woodard, who has had a huge second half for Austin Peay. That is a huge second chance opportunity that he converts, and the starters come back in, and hopefully it's not too late for him, down by 9 again. All that effort seemingly gone to waste, as it was 9 whenever we came out of the locker room out of the first half, but Easley with a huge shot. He's up to 11 points, and Easley, these last few weeks with Saunders' absence and him being hurt, of course, he has looked so important for us, and at the end of games, there's nobody we'd rather go to with Saunders injured. Now, down by 8, Easley again fires and hits. So Jarrells hit 1 to extend it back to 8, but Easley with the equalizer. Now he has 13 as Jarrells takes it all the way, but a huge charge from Faye rather. You love to see that. And Faye actually took one, a huge one, last episode against Southeast Missouri, and here he is doing it again as Easley wants a screen, but Austin Peay recovers nicely. Now Faye is met with the double team, dish back out to Easley, who nets it again. Easley coming alive, and it's back to a 1 possession ball game as Austin Peay's coach burns a timeout. 1:45 left to go. The governor's still in the driver's seat as Hernandez taking his time, and it's Loeffler who gets his pocket picked. Lawton goes all the way. Oh, put some Air Jordan on that one. A little bit of flavor from the New Zealand native. And just like that, we're back within 1. It seems like Luke Lawton always has a big defensive play down the stretch in these clutch games. Benny Estrada is the inbounder as his Governors are up by 1, but maybe that'll change after P.O. Hamilton grabs the steal. Lawton with the lead pass. Faye tops it off, and we have our first lead of the entire night with 80 seconds left to play. What a team effort this has been to get ourselves back in this game. Austin Peay, however, would take the lead thanks to you-know-who, Rodney Jarrells. So 54 seconds left as Pierre Hamilton has a lane, and look at that bounce pass. Easy threw up the pump, and that actually got Pierre Hamilton's man up in the air. He dishes it to him, and Hamilton creates the lane to find Blaine Fry in the interior. Thanks to Pierre Hamilton's 5th assist, the score sits at 65-64. 1 more possession seemingly for Austin Peay, because after this the shot clock will turn off. Shane Loeffler on the right wing. 30 seconds left to go. 15 left to shoot as Kareem Hernandez tries to deliver the dagger, but it's off the mark. Christopher Faye collects rebound number 8 and Easley will draw the foul. We might have just done it, but we still need to knock down these free throws as 1 more foul, and we will be in the bonus as we give it to Easley to try to put us over the mountaintop. Everybody in this 5 on the floor right now has big reasons why we're still in this game, and Easley, it's been his 3-point shooting, as he steps to the line shooting 78%, but he leaves it to the left. But Christopher Faye with his 4th offensive rebound, and it's the biggest of the entire ball game. Wow, and we've been getting out-rebounded all night by Austin Peay. Right now they have an 8-rebound lead on us on the boards, but Faye with a huge one there, as now he has a chance to put us on top, but he misses. And Blaine Fry, this time, he doesn't want to mess with that free throw line. It might be cursed or something, as he immediately just puts it back in. And now Austin Peay needs 3 to tie, but Kareem Hernandez gives it away. And it's Blaine Fry with the tip pass. Unbelievable. Blaine Fry on offense, he just had a huge rebound and a putback. So some scoring, some hustle, and now some defense tipping that pass. as he put us over the top. 65-64 is your final after Faye sends Karan Woodard into the crowd. What a team win. Easily with those clutch three-pointers to keep us in the game. You had Pierre Hamilton playing lockdown defense on Rodney Jarrell's, and with his playmaking, Luke Lawton had 8 out of his 10 points in the second half with a huge block and a steal down the stretch. Blaine Fry, of course, you saw what he just did, and Christopher Faye out-rebounding everybody there at the end. After the way the Eastern Kentucky game finished, you could tell Faye was feeling a little down about that, and he decided to impose his will on the glass down the stretch. And things also will look a little bit better after this one. Make it 3 straight after we also take down Eastern Illinois, and that's not a very easy thing to do this year, as Pierre Hamilton started this game instead of Saunders. Saunders still had 17 off the bench, but yeah, like I said, EIU is pretty competitive this year for the first time in the series. They're on the fringe of a playoff berth, so maybe in years past that win wouldn't be as impressive, but an 81-58 win over the Panthers in their building, yeah, it's definitely a more impressive win than years past. So as we move on, this has been a crazy episode full of ups and downs, but as we look towards the standings of the OVC, with that huge win on top of Austin Peay and that win against Eastern Illinois, we now find ourselves 3rd, as we are technically tied with Eastern Kentucky, but they have the tiebreaker on us right now, so we actually sit at 3rd so far. And I know this is going to be a pretty weird thought to think about, but I feel like that Austin Peay win just might have saved our season. If we lost that game, we'd be on the fringe of a playoff berth, but we win that, take some momentum into Eastern Illinois, 7-4 right now. Only, let's see, about a game and a half out of Austin Peay actually for that first place bid. So that Austin Peay win might have just saved our entire season. So moving on, looking at the schedule to end off the year, we got 9 games left here in year 3 regular season, and we started off with a bit of a revenge tour. We have to face Tennessee Tech, then EKU, 2 teams we've lost to, and that EKU game has some serious playoff implications. I'm happy we get them on our home court this time around. And then Tennessee State, another team we're looking for revenge on, as they beat us in the conference tournament last year. They don't look very good this year. We also face off against Murray State again, our rivals, who beat us to begin the year in conference, and then Tennessee State, Jacksonville State, and Samford to end off the year. And if we can make it through these tough few games coming up for us, then we'll be rewarded heavily with 3 very easy matchups to end off year 3. So as we approach the end of episode 20, I appreciate you guys heavily if you've been sticking around this entire way, and to surprise you guys a little bit, to reward you for joining me on this roller coaster of an episode, the entire length of it, I got a nice announcement for you. I secured a PS5 about 2 weeks ago, and I'm coming out with the next installment of the Road to NBA 2K21 series. Very excited to bring that, guys, to you as we start year 4 of my and my friends' NBA careers. Just been updating the rosters and getting them how they were in the last installment of that series, and can't wait to bring that episode to you guys. So thanks for joining me today. Stay tuned and stay safe out there, everybody. This is College Football Survive signing out.